Morning, folks. Today it is Friday and I took the day off because, well, guess what? The Impreza sold. Yeah, bought the Impreza, wasn't working too well, and sorry. Bought the Impreza, it wasn't working too well. We fixed it all up. We fixed it quite well to the point that I posted it, and yeah, someone a day later was interested and showed up from an hour away. And he is a major Subaru fan. When I say he's a fan, he's actually a rally racer. He lives about an hour away from Ottawa and has 3 other Subarus. So when he showed up and he saw my Impreza, he was quite impressed. That's exactly what he was looking for. Clean car, no mechanical issues. The body is slightly rough. As you guys know, the bumper is slightly cracked. And yeah, there is some rust. It's a 2009. So yeah, he's a rally racer. And it's his 3rd Subaru. He's gonna be racing it, meaning that the body's gonna get slightly wrecked regardless. Yes, he will hit ditches. Yes, he will bump into trees or whatsoever. So he didn't care too much about the minor rust. He didn't care too much about the bumper that was cracked. He mainly cared about the mechanical side to make sure the car is working fine. And I guess he was looking for a non-turbo car for that rally, for that type of rally that he's doing. So when he showed up and he saw the car, he heard how the exhaust sounds amazing and how it runs. Yeah, he liked it, so he decided to buy it. So the purpose for today's video is actually because I'm heading to one of the local stores to pick up some sanding paper, some primer, some paint, and some tape, so that I can patch up some of the rough spot that I sanded off. He's already seen the car, so he knows that I sanded some of the rust off, but he wanted me to kind of cover it off so that he doesn't have to do too much of the body work himself. Anyway, so that's the goal, that's the plan. We'll see what comes out of it. So I'll be filming a bit later on once I have the car prepped, or once I'm prepping up the car, so you guys are going to see a bit more of some basic beginner body work. We're done. So I have set up my workspace today for the Impreza because it's kind of cold and I didn't want to paint on the outside in the cold with the dust. So this is what I did. So we will be sanding and painting in here. It's a bit chilly outside, so what I'll be doing is I'll be heating this up with a little radiator, and at the same time, once the sun comes out, it gets quite nice in here, so I think that it's going to be fine. So we will be sanding this a bit more so that there's no more rust, so it's not infected, and we will be adding a bit of Bondo, sanding it, priming it, taping it, and yeah, doing all that fun stuff. So we have the rear trunk to do, but the most important part would be actually this, because the new owner will not want to replace the actual fender because it's in a decent condition. So this, we will try to make it really nice, really smooth. So I still have a bit of rust that is left, so I'll have to completely grind this off. As for the trunk, don't mind necessarily too much of the trunk, because like I told him, like, it's not perfect and it will probably have to be replaced. So I'll be back in a bit. I will start heating up the Quebec garage, as people call it, and once that is warm enough, once the sun is outside, I'll be able to start priming, sanding. Well, I'll be able to start sanding and probably bondoing right now. I prefer not to do too much of it when it's cold outside, so we might need to wait a little. Even though I'm selling the car, I do want to do a decent job. You know, when you buy something, you want to make sure that the previous owner has taken care of the car as much as possible, even before he sold it, gave it away. So I will try to make this pretty. I'll try to make the new owner happy, and so it's going to be more on this video. And tomorrow Mark and I are actually heading away to Osgood in Ontario to drop off the car, so there's going to be a bit more on that. Probably right back. So it's getting sunny outside, it's getting so much better in here. I'm heating up the garage just a little bit with the heater fan. So what I'll be doing is I'll be starting off with just a bit more of the sanding here. I'll give it a more rough sanding so that I can really remove the contamination that you guys can probably see. This all needs to go if ever you want to do a decent job, or actually a good job, because as soon as you leave a bit under the paint will start peeling off like in a matter of a year, not even. So I'll try to make a decent job to really grind it off. Bondoed the camera, sorry. So this is it. I completed some additional sanding. I did add some filler primer. So this is what it's starting to look like. It's just about to start drying, so I'll have to leave it like that for a bit. And same thing for the back. Completed some additional sanding, removed most of the rust, and added some Bondo, letting it dry, and then we'll be sanding it. And with the primer, we might actually be able to see if there are some imperfections that we need to fix before we paint. So if ever you do see some imperfections with just filler primer, don't paint, because the paint will make it even worse. Some people think that if ever they put filler primer and it's okay, barely okay, and that if they add additional paint on top of that, it's going to make it better, that the paint's going to fill out the cracks. Well, you're wrong. It's actually going to make it so much worse. And I'm not talking because I'm an expert, I'm talking from experience. I've did it a few times and I messed it up a few times, so I'm not going to make it again. This is the part that I hate the most. Sorry for the noise compressors on. So the sanding part is absolutely horrible. You have to sand until it's perfect, so that's where I'm at. I knew the pain in the ass it was to paint a car. I don't know why I got into this. So anyways, I did quite a bit of progress here. It is all sanded down. The rust was removed. I have some primer and also have some filler hole glaze primer that is for tiny little hole and scratches. I added the Bondo and the filler primer. Then what I did is I sanded down with like grit up to 1000 or 2000, I believe, so that it's as smooth as possible. I ran my hand over it and it seems quite smooth, to be honest. So now what I'll be doing is I'll continue to wrap up the wheel so I don't spray it over the wheel, and I have some gray filler primer that I will be spraying on top of it. See what it looks like with the filler primer. I might need to sand it down a bit more and fix some of the imperfections, but I'll show you guys in a bit what it's going to look like. So the important thing apparently, and again, I'm not an expert, is that you apply the first coat should be extremely light. A lot of people do is the mistake that they make is that they try to cover too much too fast. It creates leaks, and then the primer, I believe, doesn't grip well enough on it. First coat will be like this. What I will do is I'll wait a bit. I will let it dry just for a second. Primer dries quite fast, and then I will apply another layer of it and another layer until I can no longer see the Bondo and the sanding that I did. And then hopefully we'll start seeing, well, hopefully we won't start seeing some of the imperfections. So another coat is on. It is gray on silver, so it doesn't look too bad. So I added a little section of paint. What I will do is then once it dries, I will remove the paper and I'll try to spread the paint a bit towards up. But so far, it is definitely not perfect. But, you know, for a little cheap job in one of those, it's not too bad. This is the back of it. This is kind of the first layer, and then this has like 1.5 layer. So I will have to make sure that I blend some of the imperfection in. Well, not imperfection, some of the lines. I took advantage of this line, as you guys can see, to separate the paint. So it doesn't look too bad. It actually looks quite good. It doesn't even have a clear coat on, and it's not buffed. So keep in mind that this is gonna look even so much better. Right now it's kind of, it does have a reflection because it is sparkly, but it's still matte. If you look on the side, like I can see it, it's matte because it has no clear coat. So it will look even better. And now what I'm doing is I'm trying to prepare all of this to continue and add maybe 2 more layers of paint and see what it looks like, and hopefully then add some clear coat, wet sand it, and buff it. Okay, so I'm ready to put some clear coat on the fender. The back of the trunk is not ready yet. It's still drying and not ready, but this fender, I think that we should be good to apply some clear coat. So it doesn't look horrible, to be honest. Looks quite good, right? So yeah, I will apply some of this. Yeah, I think that we made progress. I think that we made pretty good progress. The car, as I keep repeating, I'm trying to do my best, will not be perfect. However, I'll be honest, for what the customer expected, I'm quite happy with the results. The back panel, I'll show it to you guys, but it's not dry yet and it has no clear coat. It hasn't been buffed, but it's like this. So not bad, not too bad, not bad at all. You guys haven't seen, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the previous videos how rusted it was, but it looked horrible. It was orange. And this is the front fender. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It has not been buffed. It has not been polished. So keep that in mind. It does have some imperfections in the rest of it. However, like I said, once again, this was completely orange, so I had to grind it off, make it look a bit prettier so it doesn't have that car cancer, as people call it, where it starts spreading all over. Anyways, so what I'll be doing now is I'll let this dry and I'll put a last coat of paint, because I do have enough for maybe 1 last layer. So there's gonna be 3.5, let's say 4 coats of paint. Hope it's not gonna be too much, but I think it should be fine. Then I'll let it dry for a bit and I will apply some of the clear coat. I think that I'll do 2 or 3 layers of clear coat and let it dry all night. I will leave the fan in, I will leave a heater in, and tomorrow once I wake up, I'll check to see what it looks like. It will probably look quite decent. and I will send some pictures to the customer tonight just to let him know that this was done. I hope that he will be happy with the results, because ultimately he wasn't expecting much, but he got a decent job for ultimately for free, because I didn't charge him extra to fix it. So anyways, this is it, making progress, and I'll show you guys once it's done later. Okay folks, it's the end of the day. We are still Friday, and I spent the entire day trying to get the car ready for tomorrow. So I spoke to the new buyer, and we'll be delivering it tomorrow morning. I'm just trying to confirm the time. I did a lot of the work today. Now it's too cold outside to do anything else. Today it was actually beautiful. It was like probably 15, 16, 18 degrees in there, so it was perfect for painting. But this is what we have now. So this is everything that we did. I just have some of the seal that I need to finish up tomorrow, but aside from that, as you can see, it's not too bad, not too shabby. So I'm quite happy with this. The trunk looked like this. See how it's rusted? I told the new owner that the trunk has cancer, and just replace the entire trunk. So that's why whatever work I did up here, it's just temporary so that it doesn't look like crap. So from afar it looks okay. Technically I should be wet sanding properly, and I should be also buffing it afterwards and waxing it. However, I told the guy that I will not do it, because you should let the paint and the clear coat dry for at least a few days. I would personally say 3 days at the very least, so that it hardens. And then once it's hard, you wet sand and you buff it. It will be even prettier. So I told him that I would personally do it. I would recommend that he does it once he gets the car. It's really going to be up to him if he decides to do it or not. But ultimately, this is it. It is the evening. It's going to get dark soon, so I might try to do the edit of this today, and tomorrow probably do another video with Mark, because we will be heading to drop the car off, and who knows, maybe shop for another car. So anyways guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't and the video sucked, give it a thumbs down please. I'll see you later, and thank you very much for watching this.